Chapter 1511, Who's your daughter? Then, let me ask you. What reason do you have to mess around with other men? Are you afraid that no one in Old Ding's village knows what you have done and your dirty habits? Anyway, when the time comes, and the villagers all give the same statement that she accidentally drowned in the lake, the police won't be able to find out anything. Ding Jiyi was in no way agreeable to Qiao Zijin hooking up with other men outside. But before Qiao Zijin was slapped by Zhou Zheng, Ding Jiyi did not even know that Qiao Zijin had gotten into such a mess after getting married. Thus, in the 2 months that Qiao Zijin had been back, even if Ding Jiyi were to call the Zhou family, she would only ask about how her granddaughter was doing. She dared not even speak of Zhou Zheng slapping Qiao Zijin, or even mention Qiao Zijin's name. In fact, Ding Jiyi felt as though she had no right to even raise her head in front of the Zhou family. For this reason, Ding Jiyi's worldviews seemed to be rather proper in front of ordinary people. Only in front of Qiao Nan, Ding Jiyi's worldviews were warped. They were worldviews of Ding Jiyi alone. Mom! Qiao Zijin was infuriated. She would do what she had to do, but she was unwilling for others to speak about her in that manner. And it was her own biological mother who kept talking about how she had gotten in relationships with other men. Qiao Zijin could no longer hold back. How can Zhou Zheng be bothered by how I'm not as pretty as his ex-girlfriend when he himself looks like this? And if Zhou Zheng had treated me well, would I even have done such things? She had only done so because the Zhou family and Zhou Zheng had forced her to. Come on! Don't say such things to me. Tell them to those that like to listen to them. Knowing the Zhou family, they probably won't come to pick you up. If you really don't want to go back to the Zhou family and want to continue living here, remember to clean up after yourself. You're already a mother. Be more hardworking. Can you really stand living in such a pigsty? Earlier on, why had she not realized that Zijin was such a sloppy person? In her mind, Zijin had been hardworking her whole life. After being scolded by Ding Jiyi, Qiao Zijin pouted unhappily. When had she not been diligent? When she was younger, all the housework had been done by Qiao Nan. Her mom had never lifted a finger. When she went off to school afterward and spent little time at home, the burden of all the household chores fell on her mother. Up until the year that she got married, she had not done much housework. I don't know how to do that. How about I go to the capital with you? When she married into the Zhou family, she had not done them either. Hadn't Qiao Nan made it big? Just as well, she would go to the capital and catch up with Qiao Nan. It would not matter even if she failed, but she had to give some attitude to the Zhou family to scare them at the very least. She snorted. It was entirely her efforts that brought the Zhou family to where they were today. Throwing her aside now that she was no longer useful. Did they really think that Qiao Zijin was a good target for bullying? You're going to? Ding Jiyi hesitated for a moment. Anyway, I have no money. You'll have to let Qiao Nan pay for your expenses. That's your business. I'm not going to care about that. But once you go to the capital, what will happen to your man? Are you going to split up with him? When that time came, under the pressure from the Zai family and Qiao Nan, would Zhou Zheng apologize to Zijin, who would then return obediently? Was that what Zijin had in mind? Qiao Zijin looked meaningfully at her newly manicured nails and huffed. What's the hurry? Why do I have to break it off? I think the situation now is pretty good. She was legally married, and her lover outside was handsome. Initially, she had liked it too, but she had not expected to become a mom and sleep with others. Whatever. I'm washing my hands off you. So, it was just as Qiao Nan took over He Yi's position that Ding Jiyi and Qiao Zijin finished their discussion, bought plane tickets, and flew to the capital to find Qiao Nan. Grandpa, we're here to bring you for lunch. In the capital, Qiao Nan had just picked the 3 children up from school. On the way home, she took a detour and stopped by the small apartment that she had purchased in the capital to bring Jiao Dongliang along to the Zai family's house for lunch. The reason why Jiao Nan had brought Jiao Dongliang over to the capital was so that he could rest well in his golden years. She was afraid that he would be too lonely living alone in Pingcheng. Therefore, on the weekends and during special festivals, Jiao Nan would always bring Jiao Dongliang over to the Zai family's house to have a meal together. In the beginning, Jiao Dongliang was rather embarrassed. He always felt out of place in the Zai family's house. Jiao Nan was the Zai family's daughter-in-law and part of the Zai family, but he was only an outsider. Fortunately, after the passing of old Master Zai, Jiao Dongliang felt a little less stressed out. Moreover, Zai Yaowai and Miaojing had a pleasant attitude toward Jiao Dongliang. Now that he visited frequently, Jiao Dongliang had started to accept it as part of his life. "Why are you three children so happy today?" Seeing his granddaughter, Jiao Dongliang took her school bag from her. Nan, don't you think teachers nowadays are too much? These children are still so young, but they have to carry around so many books. They even have a stack of never-ending homework. I heard from old Chen next door that his grandson had so much homework that he stayed up until 11 in the evening but still could not finish it and ended up crying. Do our family's children have to work so hard? Grandpa, you're thinking too much. We always finish our homework before 8 o'clock. Mom said that children have to go to bed early and wake up early. This way, we'll grow up quickly. The three of us go to bed by 9. Bao stopped himself from commenting about how efficient that kid must have been to not have finished his homework even by 11. Jiao Dongliang laughed. Is that so? That's impressive. When your mom was younger, she was so intelligent too. She would never fail to rank in the top 3 every exam. In my memories, she would not do homework until 11 in the evening, let alone read a book. She always went to bed by 10. In other words, it was just a difference in talents. Grandma said that we're smart like Mom. We're Mom's children. San Bao added excitedly. The way this young lady hopped around with her pigtails made her seem like a little bunny. Jiao Dongliang smiled widely and his eyes curved into crescents. Smart? Nan is smart and you three are like her, so you're all smart. Amongst the 5 of us, your grandpa is probably the dumbest. Grandpa, hurry and get in the car. Bao, who was walking ahead of them, had already opened the door of the passenger's seat to invite Jiao Dongliang in. Jiao Dongliang felt moved by this small gesture of Bao. This was not the first time Bao had done it, but every time he did it, Jiao Dongliang was always equally moved. Only after he got into the car did Jiao Dongliang have the chance to congratulate Jiao Nan. Congratulations, Nan. Chapter 1512, The Zhou family is getting a divorce. You've finally completed the last mission your master left for you. He should be feeling at ease now. Upon mentioning Elder Lin, Jiao Dongliang's voice was full of regrets. It could be said that after Elder Lin left, aside from Jiao Nan's family, only Jiao Dongliang went to visit him. He knew that when he was still committing mistakes and hadn't fulfilled his duty as a father, Elder Lin was the one who gave Jiao Nan recognition, care and concern when she was going through difficult times. It could be said that without Elder Lin, there wouldn't be the Jiao Nan today. Based on this point alone, Jiao Dongliang felt an infinite amount of gratefulness to Elder Lin. Elder Lin had made up for his shortcomings so that Jiao Nan, who was a good child, didn't go to waste. The most important thing was that such a good child shouldn't have been treated that way. Upon mentioning this, Jiao Nan smiled. It was just that her smile wasn't deep and there was a hint of worry hidden in it. Blessing and misfortune come hand in hand. Jiao Nan never felt that good things could happen to her consecutively. What happened? Is someone causing you trouble? Jiao Dongliang knew that it wasn't easy to be the Minister of Foreign Affairs. A lot of people were eyeing that spot. It was just that the person who filled up that position was his daughter. Some people played tricks when their wishes weren't fulfilled. Qiao Dongliang had already seen all of these when he was in the army. Isn't Zai Sheng spending more time at home now? He no longer has to perform missions outside for a long time like before. If you really face trouble, give Zai Sheng a call and get him to return to help you resolve the matter. Nan Nan didn't need to be too independent such that Zai Sheng couldn't be of help to her. Qiao Nan shook her head. I've been in the ministry for 7 to 8 years now. I'm considered a veteran. The leaders above recognize my ability as well. Even if some people want to cause trouble, they can't afford to. If it isn't about the ministry, why are you unhappy? Qiao Nan smiled bitterly. Dad, you have stayed in the capital for almost 5 years now, right? Yes. It was true. His daughter had fetched him to the capital to stay for almost 5 years now. Time flew. As such, have you forgotten those 2 people from Pingcheng? All these years, she didn't keep in contact with Ding Ji and Qiao Zijin. However, she never forgot their characters. The Zhou family called brother Zhou a few days ago. Zhou Zheng wants to get a divorce with Qiao Zijin. We didn't stop Zhou Zheng and asked them to consider their own decisions. Qiao Dongliang became agitated. He was afraid he would scare the 3 children behind, thus he said in a normal tone, divorce. Why? It was only after marrying Zijin off to Zhou Zheng that he felt relieved. Whatever happened to Zijin in the future had nothing to do with him and it would be managed by the Zhou family. However, once Zijin got a divorce with Zhou Zheng, then Qiao Zijin had an affair. Upon mentioning this matter, Qiao Nan's looks became terrible. Qiao Zijin wasn't married to Chen Jun but Zhou Zheng now. However, she still had an affair. Compared to her previous life, Qiao Zijin had an affair much earlier this lifetime. She was caught by Zhou Zheng and became angry. Not only did she admit it, but she even pushed the responsibility to Zhou Zheng. Zhou Zheng couldn't help but hit Qiao Zijin. After Qiao Zijin returned to her mother's home, she didn't return to the Zhou family for 2 months and didn't even care about the children. After listening to Qiao Nan's words, Qiao Dongliang was completely speechless. Qiao Dongliang really couldn't put the blame on Zhou Zheng for this divorce. All in all, Qiao Dongliang had to blame himself for not knowing how to teach and raise his daughter well. Her having an affair was something Qiao Dongliang didn't even dare to think about. After getting a divorce with Ding Ji and having separated for so long, Qiao Dongliang didn't even find another woman, let alone having an affair. Based on Qiao Dongliang's temper, he would definitely scold Qiao Zijin harshly for having done such a shameless thing if she was in front of him. Your mother has completely raised this child up badly. Qiao Dongliang was so angry that he didn't have the strength to speak. He didn't understand how capable Ding Ji was to have raised up such a child. To think that when you were young, your mother didn't value you. I only realized today that your mother's bias toward your sister was simply the greatest gift to you. I dare not imagine if you were the same as your sister. What a failure I would have been in this lifetime. If both daughters turned out to be like that, Qiao Dongliang was about to suspect that his family's genes were bad. Perhaps. Qiao Nan really couldn't deny Qiao Dongliang's words. Qiao Zijin always had this temper. Nobody knew if this was really attributed to Ding Ji's unique way of education. I'm prepared not to care about Zhou Zheng's and Qiao Zijin's matters. I'm worried about what kind of reaction my mother and Qiao Zijin would have after seeing the news from the ministry. It was said that in times of prosperity, friends would be aplenty. Unless both of them hadn't seen the news, Qiao Nan felt that she was about to receive visitors soon. Qiao Nan's words always made Qiao Dongliang speechless. If they really dare to cause trouble, no matter what they ask for, don't agree to them. If they become too overboard, don't worry. I'll help you. Qiao Dongliang didn't say these words with much confidence. If Qiao Dongliang could really manage Ding Ji and Qiao Zijin, their family of 4 wouldn't have ended up in such a state today. As they chatted, the 5 of them had already reached the Zai family's home. Qiao Nan unfastened her seatbelt. Forget it. Let's talk about this another time. She hoped that she had thought wrongly and read too much into things. After all, the triplets were already about to graduate from primary school. For such a long period of time, Xiao Nan didn't contact Ding Ji or Xiao Zijin. Compared to her previous lifetime, she was 34 years old this year. However, she still hadn't given her salary to Ding Ji to raise Xiao Zijin. Nan, the triplets are about to graduate from primary school. Have you thought about what kind of junior high school to send them to? Seeing that the three children were upright, Xiao Dongliang changed the topic and started caring about the triplets' studies. I'll let them take the exams. Exams need to be taken to enter the capital's key junior high schools. Xiao Nan was optimistic. They usually have good results. The junior high school they enter wouldn't be any worse. With the approval of their mother, the children were especially happy. Bao and San Bao lit up with pleasure. Only De Bao rubbed his lips slightly and suppressed his smile. You're back. Zai Sheng heard the sounds and opened the door. Indeed, he saw his beautiful wife and three adorable children. Chapter 1513, A Mother of High Caliber. Zai Sheng had matured over the years of marriage, but Xiao Nan seemed to be spared by the passing of time as it left no mark on her beauty. Without the kids, others would mistake her for a university student, that's how young she looked. Dad. San Bao dashed to Zai Sheng and asked him to lift her. The kids must have taken on the genes of the Zai family as they grew faster than the rest. It was natural for San Bao to sprout since she was a girl, but Bao and De Bao were springing up as well. It was like they were on steroids. Ignoring De Bao's and Bao's youthful faces, they looked like teenagers from their heights. It was hard to believe that they were still in elementary school. San Bao believed that she had to hurry, for Zai Sheng would not be able to lift her when she's older. Dad, Mom said that I wouldn't be able to play with you after I go to secondary school. Since there's only 1 month left before my graduation, let's not waste any time. The girl was good at shoving responsibilities to her dad. She was the one that wanted to play, but she claimed to be doing it for Zai Sheng. Otherwise, she was afraid that she would ruin her reputation in Xiao Bao's eyes. She wasn't childish, she was just a filial daughter. Since her dad liked to play, she had no choice but to play with him. Moreover, her dad was different from her uncle, and Xiao Bao would have been lifted many more times than her despite her being older. Reading San Bao's mind, Zai Sheng put his hands under her arms and lifted her into the air. No matter how fast the children grew, they were still like dwarfs before their father. Xiao Dongliang was drawn to it. He studied Xiao Nan's expression while watching Zai Sheng play with San Bao. When Xiao Nan was young, there was not a single day that he'd spend with her like this. Xiao Nan wasn't thinking so much. Compared to her past life, this was like heaven to her. Xiao Nan would never discount the contentment before her eyes for the entanglement of her past. Therefore, she wasn't jealous of San Bao's blessed life but beamed brighter than the child. That's it. Stop playing around. Wash your hands and dig in. The kids must be starving. Miao Jing's culinary skills improved so much that she had overtaken Xiao Nan. The kids now preferred their grandma's cooking over their mother's. Grandma is the best. I'm so hungry. It didn't matter how heavy the breakfast was, Bao's stomach would always start growling after the third period. All the chatting was grinding Bao's patience. Miao Jing loved to hear those words. Is that right? Hurry up and get your hands clean. I've made your favorite braised pork. Hooray! Bao cheered and sprinted away. It was true that boys his age could eat a cow. Although De Bao's and Bao's appetites were far from Zai Sheng's, they ate much more than Xiao Nan. The kids have been growing fast, so let's shop for new clothes on Labor's Day. Miao Jing was satisfied to see the growth of her grandchildren. In the blink of an eye, the children were already heading to secondary school. 3 years of kindergarten and 6 years of elementary school, the kids had performed well throughout the 9 years. Countless people were waiting for the chance to mock the Zai family's children. It was hard to say if the children would grow up to be as intelligent as their parents. Now, it was proven that the education and upbringing of the children didn't fall short of expectation. They grew up well, and their grades were outstanding. No one else in the neighborhood could compare to them. Apart from academics, they were top-notch in sports. The kids would always bring back medals and trophies after sports competitions, and Dabao and Erbao even broke a few records. Miaojing had to appreciate Elder Lin for teaching the children foreign languages since young. Despite their age, the kids spoke English as fluently as their mother tongue. Of course, apart from Elder Lin, Nan Nan played an important role as well. After Elder Lin's teaching, Nan Nan often communicated with the children in English, which deepened their understanding. Elder Lin once said that having a multilingual environment for the children would be beneficial in the long run. Xiao Nan's expertise was English, but basic conversations in other languages were a piece of cake for her as well. Under Xiao Nan's and Elder Lin's uncompromising efforts, the children knew more than just English. Languages like French and Portuguese were within their field of knowledge as well. The ability to communicate with people from any part of the world was enough to bring fame to the kids among the neighbors. Forget about the other kids. Even the adults in the neighborhood admired the trio and often compared them to their own children. Many said that it was fortunate to have Xiao Nan as a mother who was a diplomat that mastered many languages. Such influence on the children was way beyond education in school. Even having a language teacher would raise the child's foreign communication skills, let alone having a mother of such high caliber. Unfortunately, not everyone could afford a language teacher like this one. Be it finding a teacher or having a proficient mom, it wasn't easy to achieve. Who else could find a daughter-in-law as educated as Xiao Nan? Chapter 1514, Other People's Children. However, if such a woman became a mother, she wouldn't feel at ease to stay at home to raise the children up. She would always be busy with work. Once she was busy with her career, the time spent on children would reduce significantly. Xiao Nan's generation had already implemented family planning. No matter a son or a daughter, most of them are precious in the family. Such a daughter would more or less be spoiled in their parents' home. How many people would be able to handle the tiredness from work yet still have to take care of both the old and young in the family after returning home? As such, for families with such good conditions, they would rather find a better kindergarten or training class. Spend more money to send their children there, and let the people in the school raise their children up. No matter how small the class was, there would always be around 20 children. However, there was only one teacher. The Zai family was different. When Xiao Nan and Elder Lin raised the triplets up, it was always 1 to 3. This way, Elder Lin and Xiao Nan could spend more time and attention on the 3 children and understand them better. Because of this, under Xiao Nan's training of at least 1 hour of foreign language conversation every day, the triplets' ability to speak in foreign languages was powerful. There were so many children in the quad, but none of them could be compared to the triplets. It was fine if they couldn't compare in terms of number. Now, they couldn't even compare in terms of quality. How infuriating! In horse racing competitions, the horses were categorized as first class, middle class, and low class. Why was it that the triplets from the Zai family didn't have such a distinction? All of them were first class. The more they thought about it, the angrier they were, but the happier Miaojing was. See? Our family's children are so capable that nobody could compare to them. You're even jealous and always saying bad things about them. Now, it's a slap to the face, isn't it? Serves you right. Now that the triplets were going to junior high school soon, Miaojing spent even more time and effort on them. She knew that the 3 of them were undergoing puberty and would get hungry quickly. They needed nutrition as well. Miaojing specially asked the teacher in the training class what kind of dishes should she make for her 3 grandchildren to grow up well. After the teacher gave pointers, Not only did Miao Jing's dishes look good and taste good, but they were also balanced in nutrition and all aspects were well taken care of. Miao Jing's considerations in cooking were so complete that she could become a nutritional chef. The triplets benefited the most for having such a doting grandma. Now that the 3 children had grown up tall and strong, who would deny that the reason wasn't because of Miao Jing's hard work and achievements? Here, eat more. If it's not enough, remember to scoop more rice for yourself. You're undergoing puberty and must remember to eat more. Sanbao, you too. Don't learn from those girls outside who only want to lose weight. Miao Jing filled up the 3 children's bowls with dishes using her quick chopstick skills. After swallowing the food in her mouth, Sanbao said, "Grandma, you've got to be kidding me. Why would I want to lose weight? I have almost no fat left on my body to do so. I still want to eat more so that I can gain a few pounds of meat." Sanbao was extremely proud when she said these words. Chapter 1515, A Bunch of Children. As Miao Jing said, children nowadays matured early. They were only primary school students, but everyone knew how to doll themselves up. Now, skinny was considered beautiful. As such, the girls in school started to say that they wanted to eat less and slim down. At this time, Sanbao, who never once controlled the amount of food she ate, was simply an oddball. In the beginning, people laughed at the way Sanbao ate, saying that she would turn into a fat pig soon. It was a pity that for the next few years, Sanbao only ate more and didn't control her food intake at all. What was funny was that Sanbao only grew vertically, not horizontally. As such, Sanbao, who ate the most, remained slender. However, those girls who often said they wanted to go on a diet ended up having more meat than Sanbao. Because of this, Sanbao became extremely proud. She felt that the classmates in school who wanted to lose weight were fools. What use was there to eat less? They had to exercise more. Her father had said before that when her mother was young, she was slender. No matter how she ate, she wouldn't gain weight. As such, she must be like her mother, eating and drinking when she should. She didn't wish to faint from hunger when she was halfway through class. How embarrassing that would be! Yes, eat more. With your figure, you can afford to grow some more meat. You're like your mother. When she was pregnant with the 3 of you, only her stomach was big. From behind, no one could tell that not only was she pregnant, but she was also pregnant with 3 children. It wasn't easy for her to finally put on some weight. After giving birth to the 3 of you, within 2 months, Nan weighed 3 to 5 pounds less than before you were born. All of you didn't know how tough a life your mother led in order to take care of the 3 of you. It was the first time Sanbao heard these words. She looked at Xiaonan brightly. I know my mother is the best. A lot of her classmates were brought up by a nanny when they were young. There weren't a lot of parents like her mother who came personally to fetch their children home from school every day. Every time she saw this, Sanbao wanted to cherish the happiness she had even more. Based on such a mother alone, they were already much luckier than the average children. Xiaonan pinched Sanbao's cheek. You only have more meat on your face. Focus when you're eating. Less talking, more eating. As for the exams, the 3 of you have always performed well. I believe this won't be an issue. Thus, don't give yourselves too much pressure. It's fine to score just like you did usually. Every parent hoped that their child's results would be better and that they would be more outstanding. However, this wasn't the only criteria to judge if a child was good or bad. Xiaonan's expectations for the triplets were to work hard and take the exam seriously. There wasn't a need to be too nervous or care too much about the results. Mother, don't worry. We understand. Dabao nodded wisely. There were some things he never heard of, but he understood how much his mother loved them. She didn't become partial to anyone or neglect anyone just because she had 3 children. Their mother was equally good to and concerned about all 3 of them. De Bao mentioned that the expression other students had when mentioning their mothers was completely different from how he felt when he thought about his own mother. His mother was really the best in this world. The three children ate happily. The whole family became happy from watching them. After the triplets graduated from primary school, the Zai family became livelier as there were more children. Of course, Qiaonan didn't give birth to them. However, the people Qiaonan knew had given birth to them. Xiao Bao, whom Zihua had given birth to, loved his grandma's place. It wasn't strange for him to stay there for a period of time. After Shi Qing married Zhu Baoqiu, she gave birth to a chubby son 10 months later. Many people had joked and calculated that this was a honeymoon baby. He was planted in his mother's womb the first night of his parents' marriage and they were highly efficient. A few years after Fang Fang became Gao Yan's girlfriend, she agreed to marry him and become the Gao family's daughter-in-law. When they got married, the triplets were the flower boys and flower girl. In the second year of their marriage, Fang Fang gave birth to a son. Going by this, the triplets in Qiaonan's family were really outstanding, the single red flower in the midst of thick foliage. It was unknown if the Zai family had a good aura or if Qiaonan was really well liked by children. After they grew up and could express their likes and dislikes, the Zai family became their common choice. These children insisted on letting Qiaonan carry them. Every time she did so, they would be so happy that they salivated. No words could describe how happy they looked. Thankfully, the triplets and Xiao Bao had grown up. Otherwise, with so many babies who competed with themselves appearing at once, the ignorant children would definitely yell with anger. Initially, Xiao Bao threw tantrum for a few days. The triplets expressed that they were already primary school students and didn't need their mother to carry them every day. With so many little brothers around, they could temporarily let their mother play with them in the day. On May 11th, these children came to the Zai family's home in unison. Xiao Bao frowned. "Auntie, why are they always coming over to our house to play? Don't they have a home? Is it really good for them to come over to other people's house once it is the holidays?" These children couldn't be so thick-skinned just because they were young and ignorant. This wasn't good, right? Xiao Bao complained about these children ruthlessly in his heart. His sour tone made everyone laugh. Gao Yan glanced at his son, who was squatting in a corner playing with his toys, from time to time. He said leisurely, "Who asked your auntie's house to be so fun? It's simply too tempting and our children love to play here. Look at you. Aren't you always coming over to your grandma's place as well? Uncle Gao, don't you feel embarrassed arguing with a child like me?" Xiao Bao stood in front of Gao Yan and said angrily, "Every time you son comes over, he cries. My ears feel very uncomfortable. How shameful for a child to keep crying." Every time Gao Yan's son was carried away by his parents to leave the Zai family, he would indeed cry. However, he only cried then. The rest of the time, when Gao Feng stayed in the Zai family, he was always an obedient baby. Anyone could carry him and he would laugh whenever someone played with him. He addressed everyone in a sweet voice and even threw out compliments as if they didn't cost anything. Chapter 1516, Cheater. What's wrong? Weren't you happy when my son called you an older brother? Xiao Bao was the youngest in the Zai family, and he hated that. Therefore, he had been hoping for a younger child to appear. It did come true. Only a few days after Xiao Bao had that idea, Zhu Baoqiu and Shi Qing's son, Zhu Yu, came to this world. Gao Feng came a month later than Zhu Yu, so Xiao Bao had become the older brother of 2 kids within a month. Su Shennan and Qiaonan were close, and she was married earlier than Shi Qing and Fang Fang. Her husband was from Beijing, and her daughter was way older than Zhu Yu and Gao Feng. However, Su Shennan was bothered by the Zhu family's situation. So she only visited occasionally. At home, Su Shennan would always remind her daughter not to mention the Zai family to her relatives. Qiaonan's identity and appearance on TV were to be kept a secret as well. In fact, Su Shennan had been doing a good job hiding her relationship with Jiao Nan. Ever since she started working under Gao Yan, she had managed to buy a house and fetch her parents to the capital. She had discussed with her parents, and they'd agreed to not receive any more privileges because of Jiao Nan. Her parents were honest workers, and it was unsettling for them that Su Shennan got the job thanks to Jiao Nan. Therefore, they had the same idea as Su Shennan. After the family established a common understanding, all her in-laws knew was that Su Shennan had a close junior. Occasionally, Su Shennan would bring her child to visit that junior. Fortunately, she didn't visit frequently. Otherwise, Su Shennan's mother-in-law would be complaining. If Su Shennan were the senior, shouldn't the junior be the one visiting her? Why would a senior visit her junior? What mattered the most was that Su Shennan had the habit of buying gifts, and she wouldn't visit her junior empty-handed. Before Su Shennan married her son, she always brought her gifts. She liked it back then, and she couldn't stop smiling when Su Shennan showed up. However, now that they belonged to the same family, Su Shennan's money should be spent on her son and granddaughter. How could Su Shennan be happy about spending money on others? Relationships with in-laws had been an age-old problem. Nowadays, Su Shennan didn't come to Jiaonan with career problems anymore. It was more of the family issues that she had to face every day. Boss. Su Shennan was flustered when she saw Gao Yan and Gao Feng in Jiaonan's house. Su Shennan, come in. Gao Yan wasn't surprised to see her here, he knew that she was close to Jiaonan. What's with the teary eyes? Su Shennan was known for being a workaholic in the company. As her boss, seeing Su Shennan tear up was a rare sight for him. Jiaonan glared at Gao Yan. Brothers, I'll leave this to you. Fang Fang, take care of the kids while I get something for Senior Su. Fang Fang nodded. Okay. We are used to hanging out at your house. You have no idea how jealous our old roommates were when they heard of me visiting your place. Go ahead. I'll get the ante if we need anything. Gao Yan and Fang Fang would come along with their children, but Zhu Yu often appeared alone. Zhu Baoqiu and Shi Qing were the godparents of Jiaonan's kids, and Zhu Jinqi was Jiaonan's godfather. After all, Jiaonan was Zhu Yu's aunt. Since Zhu Baoqiu and Shi Qing were busier than Zai Hua and Tiandong, Zhu Yu spent more time in the Zai family than Xiao Bao. Xiao Bao's grandma wouldn't bear to let him go, but Zhu Jinqi almost wanted his grandson to be gone as he tossed him to Jiaonan. Do you think everyone faces more problems after marriage? After others gave her the privacy to speak, she could finally let her thoughts out. She couldn't discuss marriage with her parents as they would be too worried, and she didn't have many close friends that were still in contact. After pondering about, she realized that Jiaonan was the only one she could talk to. Jiaonan. Do you think that all men would become fierce and horrible after marriage? Why? I think he is cheating on me. Su Shennan couldn't hold the tears in her eyes any longer. He's always working overtime now, and there are more gatherings that he attends. He even asked me for more allowance. I always trusted him, and I wouldn't have known about him spending so much if he didn't ask me for money. What Su Shennan didn't say was that she couldn't accept the possibility that her husband was spending her money on another woman. It was somewhat comical. Cheating. Jiaonan's expression changed. Are you sure? Did you get someone to check on it? Do you have any evidence? If it's just your guess, what made you think that way? Thanks to Jiao Zijin and Chen Jun, Jiao Zijin couldn't withstand a cheater. Although her marriage had been great, she couldn't bear to watch Su Shennan suffer from such things. If I'm not wrong, your mother-in-law paid the down payment for your house, and you paid the loan, right? Gao Yan's company was doing great, and Su Shennan had been a veteran. Chapter 1517, This couldn't be tolerated. As such, after the company was brought to a new level, not only did Su Shennan's salary become higher, but Gao Yan, as a good boss, would also give a veteran like her a fat bonus at the end of the year. Within a few years, Su Shennan paid off the mortgage on the house she bought. After all, Su Shennan had bought a house much earlier. In the capital, the house prices a few years before and a few years later had a huge difference. That year, Su Shennan listened to Jiao Nan's advice. Once she had money, she bought a house in the capital. As she had done so earlier than others and had started working a few years earlier, Su Shennan had paid off the mortgage for that house. The man Su Shennan got married to had an account in the capital as he had a small house there. Strictly speaking, they weren't from the capital. It was just that his parents moved to the capital to work earlier. With this house, the whole family became people from the capital. After the two talked about it, the man's mother knew that Su Shennan had a good job and a high salary. She was quite satisfied with this daughter-in-law. After all, she had graduated from Peking University. It was a university that was much better than the one her son attended. With such a daughter-in-law, she would have more face outside if she talked about her. It was just that after that, this future mother-in-law expressed that it wasn't a big deal for Su Shennan to stay in the small house after she got married to her son. However, if Su Shennan gave birth to a child, then that house would definitely be smaller. As such, she wanted to sell the small house in her hands and use this amount of money to make the down payment for a bigger house. As for the future mortgage, she was already old and couldn't do much work. She could only rely on her son and Su Shennan to slowly repay the mortgage. After all, this had to do with Su Shennan. Her future mother-in-law explained the situation and asked Su Shennan if she was agreeable. If she was, they would proceed as planned. Su Shennan felt that her mother-in-law's words made sense. Her man's house was smaller than the one her parents lived in. It would definitely be cramped for everyone if she raised a child after marriage in this small house. Jiao Nan knew about this matter and mentioned it at this time. Jiao Nan, why are you mentioning this at this time? There were all kinds of people in the capital. Actually, Su Shennan knew about this. It was just that she was sad. Su Shennan hadn't thought if a divorce would be good for the children. Should she give her man a chance to turn over a new leaf again? Jiao Nan, tell me. Should I have another chat with my husband? Perhaps, there was still room for negotiation. Jiao Nan laughed coldly. Don't tell me you haven't tried communicating with your husband and inexplicably ran over to my house with red eyes. Your husband really has nothing to do with you crying today? You want to give him a chance to turn over a new leaf, but I'm worried that he doesn't want to and even finds this to be pretty good. He has you to pay off the mortgage and you and your mother-in-law to take care of your daughter. He has been a pretty successful head of the family. If he finds himself to be working hard, he'll find a lover to comfort himself. It's not wrong. It can't be, right? Su Shennan's face turned pale. She really didn't think about the problem of her willing to give her husband a chance but he wasn't willing to change. Indeed, something had happened today. I feel that I must have been too fierce and anxious when I was asking him then. He should be feeling quite panicky that I had found out. Sometimes, when people do something wrong, they would become fiercer because of their guilty conscience. He didn't do this deliberately, did he? Toward the end, Su Shennan wasn't sure herself as well. Actually, I've long felt that something was wrong. It wasn't his first day going to work. He had worked for so many years but started to attend entertainment activities only this year. However, I didn't hear that there was any movement from his company, so he shouldn't be like this. Most importantly, every time he returned home to change his clothes, he would always smell of some other woman's perfume and even had a lipstick mark. I asked him what was going on. He answered me for the first time that there was a female colleague who got drunk at the event and accidentally printed a mark on him. Su Shennan cried and tried to recall her memories. As such, her words were intermittent and incoherent. Thankfully, Jiao Nan had good logic skills. Even if Su Shennan's words were messy, she understood them. Jiao Nan placed a packet of tissue in front of Su Shennan for her to wipe her tears. I was curious as well and thought why he had so many activities. Thus, I went to ask around. But his colleagues told me that there wasn't such a thing at all. When Su Shennan received this answer, she was dealt a huge blow. She already had a lot of work in the company and was very busy. Who knew that the person she was most intimate with would deal her such a blow? Telling lies, coming home late, the perfume smell, the lipstick mark, and a bunch of unexplainable expenses. These told Su Shennan that there was something wrong with her man, and it was possible he had another woman outside. Su Shennan couldn't help but question her husband today. In the end, she didn't receive an explanation but an accusation instead. How often do you spend time in the office in a year? Without me asking, you should know the answer, right? You have always been working overtime. Who are you trying to lie to? How many men are there in your office? You have spent so little time at home, yet do you see me doubting you? Are you sure you are clean? Hearing Su Shennan's husband's rebuttal, Xiaonan twitched her lips. Senior Su, are you here at my house today purely to complain to me, or do you want me to try and provide a solution? If it's the former, Senior Su, I'm sorry, but if you can't make a decision or it's a decision that I can't accept, I don't like to listen to this. If it's the latter, I'm very willing to share with you my thoughts and suggestions. It was better to dismantle 10 temples than to destroy a marriage. Sorry, but it was the other way around here. In the face of such situations, she would always persuade people to separate instead of staying together. Su Shennan hesitated for a while. The purpose of her here today was actually for the former. However, after seeing Xiaonan's face, Su Shennan couldn't say these words out. After marriage, every couple would face some stumbling blocks. Who would get a divorce after a small conflict? Was it really that serious? Xiaonan touched Su Shennan's forehead. Do you know that my temper is already restrained with this action? If it wasn't the first time I saw you crying so pitifully, this touch would have been more forceful. Take it as I have OCD toward relationships. Chapter 1518, A Poor Man Was More Trustworthy. You want to continue using a toothbrush that was used to brush the toilet bowl to brush your teeth. I admire your tolerance and unhygienic habits. Once a man is unfaithful, he can't be trusted anymore. If there was still room for negotiation with your man, he should have returned to your side honestly and broken off all connections with that woman outside once you had doubts, regardless if it was for the family or for the relationship between the two of you. Su Shennan nodded. Indeed, it should be like this. Then, take a look next if your man does this. Senior Su, you're usually so strong and smart. I didn't expect you to be so silly and confused with regard to this and could tolerate so well. Do you believe that if it was Senior Zhou Wengxuan who encountered this matter instead, as soon as she grabbed hold of the other party's evidence, she would immediately get a divorce, find a new man who treats her well, and remarry? In this lifetime, Su Shennan's biggest competitor was Zhou Wengxuan. Until now, Su Shennan didn't let go of any thoughts to compete with Zhou Wengxuan. Although Su Shennan stayed in the capital, Zhou Wengxuan wasn't any worse. She actually found a good job in a multinational corporation in Modu. Su Shennan had a house in the capital. Zhou Wengxuan had a house in Modu similarly, both of their houses weren't rented. Until now, both competitors were at neck and neck. What was different was that Su Shennan had taken into account Xiaonan's opinion, while Zhou Wengxuan's relative had helped her a little. The more well-matched they were in strength, the more unsettled Su Shennan felt toward Zhou Wengxuan. Xiaonan used Zhou Wengxuan as an analogy at this time. It was obvious she targeted her Achilles heel. Xiaonan indeed had this intention. If she didn't target Su Shennan's Achilles heel, she was afraid that she wouldn't have any reaction. Thus, it was either she didn't mention it at all, or if she did, she had to come up with a more ruthless example. Su Shennan clenched her fists. Xiaonan, I understand what you mean. I will consider again and observe my husband to see what he does. If he really doesn't want this family anymore, my efforts alone would just to waste. Senior Su, regardless if you will listen to these or not, I have to remind you first. I'm not worried about others. However, your husband is even asking you for money now. So, you must take note of this. Don't think that it's tacky to talk about money. Do you still remember how hard it was for you to earn money in the capital? As such, you have to make sure that you don't lose both money and your man. You can always find another man again if he's gone. Perhaps you can earn money back if it's gone. However, you must remember you're not alone. If you don't have money, what will your parents, your daughter, and even you eat, drink, and spend? Xiao Nan had no choice but to highlight the seriousness of this situation to Su Shennan. Such a ruthless man really existed. Otherwise, when Su Shennan first raised her doubts, Xiao Nan's first question wouldn't be if she was still paying for the mortgage. I understand. Perhaps life these few years had been too good and smooth sailing for Su Shennan that she forgot how fearful, anxious, and agitated she felt when she first came to the capital to pursue her studies. Especially after her sophomore year, she was often worried if she would continue staying in the north or return to her old home upon graduation. She had really forgotten the uneasiness she felt back then after leading so many years of a comfortable lifestyle. Su Shennan naively felt that relationships were more important than money. If she was capable, she could slowly earn back the money. However, it wasn't so easy to find relationships. In a place like the capital, if she wanted to survive, it would definitely not work if she only had relationships and not money. She could bear the ordeal herself. However, she couldn't let her parents and her young daughter, whom she fetched over to the capital, suffer as well. Her parents were old. If they fell ill, a lot of money would be spent on hospital bills. Her daughter was still attending school and a lot of tuition classes and activities organized by the school. Not only did all of these cost money, but the amount to be spent each time wasn't small either. As she thought of this, Su Shennan realized in shock that it was perhaps just a moment of pain if she lost her marriage. However, if she couldn't keep her money, not only would she have to be in a sorry plight for a while, but she wouldn't even have the ability to respond if something happened to her relatives. After all, no other methods were required to deal with such situations, as long as Su Shennan produced a lot of banknotes. The pale Su Shennan became sober from the pain of being betrayed by a man. Xiao Nan, don't worry. I really understand what you mean this time around. I have built this family bit by bit after going through hardship for so many years and working so much overtime. These are all my hard work and efforts. I will definitely not let another woman take all of these away. Sometimes, people had to be realistic. She had actually completely forgotten the principles she understood when she was studying after stepping into society and leading a good life of more than 10 years. She couldn't even compare herself to back when she was in university. Su Shennan really wanted to knock her head and ask herself what was going on. Sure. Since you're like this, I shan't say anything else. Xiao Nan heaved a sigh of relief. She was really afraid that the usually strong Su Shennan would play the fool in front of her now and that she would rather live with false happiness than to be liberated after going through a moment of pain. Thankfully, the Su Shennan from that year was still around. She didn't admit defeat and understood reality and wouldn't have too many unrealistic thoughts. Su Shennan came and left in a hurry. Once money was mentioned, Su Shennan had to perk herself up. She had registered a summer camp for her daughter and needed to spend about 8,000 yuan. Next year, she would have to go for a summer camp overseas and that would cost more than 16,000 yuan. All of these were money. She could sacrifice herself if she lacked money, but she couldn't sacrifice her daughter. Her man was heartless to have spent money on another woman outside but not a single cent on their daughter. She was different. Her daughter was her precious. If they really got a divorce, she must take her daughter away. Oh, right. She had to consider this issue as well. She had to think of ways for her daughter to follow her after the divorce. It was either Su Shennan wasn't enlightened, or once she was, she would immediately plan for the worst. She would also think about what things she should hold on to tightly, aside from this man. Chapter 1519, Utter Disdain. When she lost her marriage, she had to think of a way to minimize her losses, right? At that time, Su Shennan was fortunate that she had an amazing, daring, and capable junior. Otherwise, even after facing such humiliation, she would probably just cry and throw a tantrum but swallow the hurt herself in the end. After she found out about Su Shennan's situation, Qiaonan did not immediately cast it aside. She was extremely concerned about Su Shennan. If Su Shennan and her man had really gotten to that stage, it was what would happen afterward that would be the most troublesome. Mom, after Auntie Su came to find you, you haven't smiled. Did something bad happen to Auntie Su? Qiaonan was feeling down and her children could sense that. Because of that, the children were especially obedient. They did not bother Qiaonan to play with them just because she had come down. As the only young lady in the house, there was nothing Sanbao was worried about. Seating herself next to Qiaonan, she was not much shorter than Qiaonan herself. She coquettishly leaned against her mother and asked her what was going on. Qiaonan stroked Sanbao's head, sighing. Sanbao, I've said it before. As long as you are sensible and have your own limits, I won't stop you from dating early. But I have to say that it's easy to be taken advantage of as a girl. When you find a boyfriend in the future, there's really no hurry. You have to watch out for yourself and learn to protect yourself. Especially when marrying someone, you really have to look carefully. Hearing about what had happened to Su Shennan, Qiaonan thought that she had completely forgotten about her past. But now, it was bloodily dug up yet again. The betrayal of Chen Jun, Ding Jiyi as a partner in crime, and Qiao Zijian's shamefulness, these three most important people to Qiaonan, had hurt her deeply at that time. Thinking back about it, Qiaonan felt that she had been extremely strong at that time to not have been beaten down. If she were to face such a situation again now, she might never stand up again after such a heavy blow. After all, after the betrayal of these three people who were the closest to her, there was still her father who simply watched on from the sidelines. Sanbao was confused by her mother's words, but after she thought through it with her brilliant mind, she finally understood parts of it. Mom, did something happen to Auntie Su? Is that why you're so worried? Yes, a little. I think it's a hard life out there for women in this world. You're my only daughter. I'm worried for you. Having given birth to a girl, Qiaonan inevitably worried about her, especially after what Su Shennan had done. She was really worried that her daughter would meet a bast *RD in the future. If that really happened. Qiaonan laughed coldly. That bast *RD son-in-law of hers would have to be prepared to face his two older brothers-in-law and his father-in-law. Sanbao nodded obediently. I'll listen to Mom. When the time comes and I start dating, I'll ask you to help check. If you think he's bad, I'll break up with him immediately. Qiaonan laughed, amused. How can there be such a thing? They always say that girls care more about outsiders. I'm just afraid that if I'm really against you being with your boyfriend, you might just throw a tantrum and run away from home. Whether this was true, Qiaonan was definitely happy that her daughter was willing to say such things to pacify her. Sanbao was upset. I was clearly speaking the truth. Just wait and see if you don't believe me. I'm such an obedient girl. If Mom doesn't agree to it, I won't do it. But when Bao and Bao get girlfriends in the future, I'm not sure if they'll be as obedient as me. Mom, I'll definitely be the most obedient child. Nonsense. Bao was unhappy, even though he did not have any interest in finding a girlfriend now. I'll listen to Mom too. So many girls in school have confessed their love to me, but I haven't accepted a single one. When I get married in the future, my wife will spend a lot of time with Mom. So if Mom doesn't like her, I'll only be adding to Mom's burden by trying to marry her. You're so mean, Sanbao. Why are you trying to tarnish my image in front of mom? I'm a good son. Dabao knocked his brother and sister on their heads and laughed. Did they think he was dead and could speak ill of him just because he was keeping mum? When had he ever done anything that made his mom unhappy? If his mom did not like it, he would never do it. It was also because of the influence of their elders that this concept was deeply rooted in the three children. Zai Sheng wanted the children to remember that he was often away from home and that it was difficult for their mother to raise the three of them. So when they grew older, they not only had to be filial to her but also had to refrain from doing anything that might anger her. Miaojing would also occasionally talk to the three children about the past. In front of the three children, what Miaojing most often praised Zai Sheng about was that he had married a wife whom his mother liked very much. If Zai Sheng had married someone else, Miaojing would not be living such a good life now. In summary, grandma's and dad's words together meant that they had to listen to their mom and find a partner that their mom was satisfied with. Of course, Xiaonan did not treat the words of the three children seriously. But now that they had coaxed her with their words, all her anger had dissipated. Mom is the luckiest woman for having the three of you precious ones. Me too, Mom. Kiss. Sanbao was the first one to rush into her mom's embrace and plant a kiss on her face. Bao had always liked competing with Sanbao, so he roughly planted a kiss on the other side of Xiaonan's face. While his dad was not around, he had to make the most out of it and kiss his mom more often. In recent years, their father had been spending less time at home. Every time he stuck to his mother, his father would look at him in jealousy. It was truly frightening. Since his father was not at home today, he would not be punished for kissing his mother. Dabao hesitated for a moment, but after seeing his brother and sister kiss their mother and become happy as if having stolen candy, he could not help but plant a kiss on his mother's face as well. With their elder brothers and sister taking the lead, the three younger ones could not hold back and rushed in unison toward Xiaonan, especially Zhu Yu and Gao Feng. They took advantage of the fact that they were still young and slobbered all over Xiaonan's face while kissing her. Now that the whole bunch of children had rushed over to her, Xiaonan almost drowned in the sea of children. Tut! Gao Yan was infuriated. This fool! Does he really not know who gave birth to him, feeds him, and provides for him? He can't even distinguish between who he should be closer to. He treats an outsider better than he treats me. An occasional hug was still all right, but when Gao Yan wanted to kiss his son, he would almost reject it. Sometimes, when Gao Yan stole a kiss, Gao Feng would always be full of disdain when he finally came to his senses. Chapter 1520, King of Children. Gao Yan did not get the chance to kiss his son, and neither did his son kiss him. Now that he saw his son kissing someone else so vigorously, it would be a wonder if he did not feel jealous. At times like these, it did no matter if you were male or female. You would get jealous either way. Fang Fang laughed uncontrollably. It's not that my son cannot distinguish between who's close to him. My son mainly distinguishes between beauty and ugliness. Nan Nan is such a beautiful and gentle person. There's nothing strange about our son liking her. Why don't you think about how you always have stubble on your face when you want to kiss your son? You make his face all red. I don't blame Feng Feng for not liking you and not letting you kiss him. Bah, if Gao Yan was not her husband, she would not let him kiss her either. Gao Yan, who was despised by both his wife and son at the same time, looked jealously at Xiaonan. He could not understand how his wife had been poisoned by Xiaonan. If it had not been for Xiaonan's help then, he would not have been able to marry Fang Fang. Why did he favor Xiaonan instead of his own father? Fang Fang, do you think our son is so clingy to Xiaonan because of you? This was definitely set up by his wife. Fang Fang did not think this was a problem at all. Perhaps I mentioned Nan Nan frequently when I was pregnant with Feng Feng. I really wanted an obedient daughter then. You know all too well that Nan Nan is the prettiest amongst all the people that I know. So of course I tended to look at Nan Nan's photo more often then. Fang Fang's looks could not compare with Jiao Nan's. She was just pretty at best. As to why Gao Yan took a fancy to her, Fang Fang always thought that Gao Yan was probably blind. Since she wanted an obedient girl, Fang Fang kept looking at photos of beauties while she was pregnant. Initially, someone had suggested looking at celebrities if she wanted to look at beauties. But Fang Fang disagreed. What if her daughter wanted to become a celebrity? Besides being beautiful, Jiao Nan was also a top student. Up until now, there were still legends of Jiao Nan in the Pingcheng High School. If she looked at Jiao Nan's photos more often, she might get some of Jiao Nan's talents. Perhaps, her child would even be as smart as Jiao Nan. With Fang Fang's explanation, both the Gao family and the Fang family's parents could not object. After all, Jiao Nan had been the one to bring Gao Yan and Fang Fang together. If their granddaughter was really like Jiao Nan, it would be good news. Both their parents agreed that Gao Yan would spend more time working in the office than spending time at home with Fang Fang. So it was the first time that Gao Yan had heard about Fang Fang looking at Jiao Nan's photos while she was pregnant. Gao Yan stared at her in disbelief. How did I not know about this? F***ck. He had always been wondering why his son would always cry upon seeing unfamiliar faces, but when he saw Jiao Nan, his son would always be smiling and would even stretch out his hands, asking Jiao Nan to carry him. He had never known that such a thing had happened in the past. My parents and your parents all know about it. Fang Fang rolled her eyes. She did not think that it was her fault that Gao Yan did not know about it. Gao Yan gritted his teeth. Fang Fang, let's have a discussion. Fang Fang is already so old. Let's have another child. Maybe this time, it'll be a girl, one as beautiful and smart as San Bao. They would give birth, even if it meant a fine. But this time, he would definitely not let his little princess look at Jiao Nan's photos while she was still in her mother's tummy. He would let his daughter look at his handsome photos. Then, once his daughter was born and grew older, she would definitely have eyes for only her father, and not Auntie Jiao Nan. What do you mean? I'm not going to give birth. If you want, you can give birth to one yourself. Fang Fang shook her head. It was tough enough to give birth once. She was not going to do it again. Do you mean you don't want a daughter? I have San Bao. In my eyes, San Bao is my daughter too. Without giving birth, I already have a daughter. Why would I still want to give birth? Fang Fang had realized that she was not the best at taking care of children and always passed her child over to the couple's parents. Fang Fang felt guilty about not taking enough responsibility for her child. One child was already giving Fang Fang so much trouble, so she refused to give birth to a second one. Besides, I think you're too idealistic. Look at the children in this family. Who doesn't like Nan Nan? If I actually give birth to a daughter and she's like Fang Fang, you'll drown in your own sea of jealousy. Fang Fang believed that even if she really gave birth to a second child, her daughter would probably be like her brother and stick to Jiao Nan. Jiao Nan just had a certain attraction. Actually, it was not just children who liked to interact with Jiao Nan. She liked it too. Even though Gao Yan had once been the god of his high school, he immediately came back down to earth in front of Jiao Nan. She wondered if Gao Yan was ignorant of this fact. Or if he simply refused to admit to it. But since they were a married couple, Fang Fang would still let him have that bit of dignity. Every time Gao Yan was upset that Gao Feng was too close to Jiao Nan, Fang Fang had never mentioned how different Gao Yan's attitude toward Jiao Nan was compared with his attitude toward others. Once he heard that and looked once again at his son in Jiao Nan's embrace with a delighted expression, Gao Yan was like a deflated balloon. He no longer put up a fight. Just one son is enough to make me angry. If I have another daughter like that, I might just die. Forget it. I'll listen to you. We won't have a second child. Gao Yan was really just making a mention of the second child, When Fang Fang gave birth to Gao Feng, she had been in pain all day and night and had bled immensely. She was all bloodied before she finally gave birth to Gao Feng. Gao Yan was so frightened that he swore never to allow Fang Fang to get pregnant with a second child, even if the state were to allow it. Seeing that Gao Yan had finally given in to her, Fang Fang hugged Gao Yan's arm and said delicately, "Be good and listen to me. When we go home today, you'll get a reward." Gao Yan's eyes sparkled. "Really?" "Of course." Fang Fang learned to speak like her son, flirting with Gao Yan. Gao Yan was electrified and his gaze toward Fang Fang grew hotter. Beauty was in the eye of the beholder. Regardless of whether Fang Fang was beautiful by other people's standards, every time she gave him that gaze, Gao Yan would obediently follow Fang Fang. Seeing Gao Yan, who normally acted tough outside, being so obedient in front of her, Fang Fang was delighted. Even if all those women liked Gao Yan, their efforts were all in vain. Gao Yan's heart was loyal to her alone. After finishing their dinner at the Zai family's house, Gao Yan finally brought his smiling wife and crying son back to the Gao family's house. Xiao Bao and Zhu Yu stayed at the Zai family's house and slept together with the three children. Because Gao Feng knew about this, he burst out in tears when he left.